Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have some interesting clips coming for you. Wait till you see these. The market is going up. I think the market started going up based on this El Salvador news about Bitcoin being accepted as legal tender in El Salvador. And then we've got an XRP that's been up, I think, as much as 10% today. Market overall is at 1.6 trillion. Dark Defender gave us a little update here. What is that? Is that my phone? Yeah. Okay. Dark Defender gave us a little update here. Hey, there was a significant. There are no significant changes for XRP. However, the daily triangle is very narrowed down. Resistances: 91 cents, $1.06, 133, 173, 241. Supports: 80 cents, 73 cents, 65 cents. Let's see what she will do next. And he keeps saying he still has his target of, I think it was $13 and something. Next, we've got Blockworks, just in Interactive Brokers, which rivals Fidelity, plans to offer crypto trading services this summer. Well, as I've said for years now, not some of the traditional financial people are coming, but all of them are coming. And you're seeing it now. Okay. Now, Mickey B. Fresh tweeted this out. We talked about this maybe a month ago, and a lot of these guys got mad because we were asking the question. But this partially to me answers at least the way that Flair is thinking on this thing, and I do appreciate them putting out some information on this. He says. Talking about people raising the concerns. Now, just so I can remind you here, the way that my understanding has always been on this is that the IRS, when you get an airdrop, they view it as when you receive it, it's considered ordinary income, and then when you sell it, you have to pay capital gains, either short term or long term. So my concern was that, and it's still my concern to an extent, and I'll tell you why after you listen to this. But my concern was if we receive this airdrop and at the time that the first airdrop, we're going to receive it, and I believe it should be a $0 for ordinary income taxes. It's the ones after that I was worried about, because the ones after that, there's going to be a market for Spark. Okay, so when you receive your second drop and all of those after that, there's going to be a market. So my concern was that when those dropped, let's say, for example, if Spark was worth $5 when they dropped it, the IRS would say, well, it's worth $5, so $5 times however many you received is your ordinary income on that. And it would force many of us into a situation where you might want to go ahead and sell it because you can't afford to take the chance that where the price goes down afterwards and you've got a tax problem. Okay, so I'll let you listen to this, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Please, absolutely. Please speak to a registered person who does that crap. It's just, it's a nightmare. I had every caveat in the world. Please assume that.
By the way, the guy speaking is Hugo Filion, who's the CEO of Flare Networks.
Saying it. What I will say is very simple. We have spoken to, a really, 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 highbrow tax lawyer, I suppose thinker even from Harvard. It's written a memo for us. There's a specific way that you receive the flare distribution. So you receive 15% at day, let's call it 0, day 1. Correct. And that genuinely is delivered at zero cost.
Okay, so he just talked about the first drop. My understanding is going to be 15% of your Spark tokens that are coming to you, and that's got a $0 cost basis. I feel good about that. Okay, so you get that at a $0, so you don't have to worry about paying ordinary income taxes on that.
Now, if you want the other 85%, you will be burning some of your Spark tokens, not many, not much, they don't have any value, in order to receive that. And that is considered a payment. In order
Okay, well, I'm going to let you keep
the
listening.
remaining 85%. And so
it'll be at what
you've paid for those tokens. You've paid for those tokens basically at day one at basically zero value. So then that means that you can then...
Okay, so my understanding of what he's saying is, and again, what he's saying is based on a memo that they received from accountants that they, I guess an accounting firm that they paid, okay? What he's saying is that when you receive all of the Spark tokens afterwards, you're in essence going to be paying some of your Spark as a payment for what you're going to receive, which is the last 85%, in which case you're not being given something as an income, you're paying for it, okay? Now, and I'll let you finish this and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
According to the memo, and again, this is not tax advice, please speak to an accountant, please file your taxes correctly with the IRS, however your accountant tells you to do so, etc., etc. But, we've dealt with this question internally. That's essentially that absolves you from, basically you would still be receiving tokens and you would still essentially be, taxable on them, but your basis for the tax is like zero.
Gotcha.
And so you would obviously pay a capital gains tax when you sell them.
Right. Okay. You get the gist of it. But this is where my concern, and I, by the way, I'm no accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. You need to talk to your accountant, all that stuff. But here's the problem I have, and it's not a problem with Flare. My problem is with the IRS. I think the IRS could easily, on something like this, come out and give us a clear guidance. But because what I'm worried about is, yes, okay, they've got an accountant that says this will be a payment, and therefore you're not going to need to pay ordinary income. And by the way, I asked if I could get a copy of that memo. I'd like to have the copy of that memo put in my tax file to show my accountant, like ahead of time. But the problem for me is what I'm worried about is because I know how the IRS operates. And what I'm worried is that, and again, this isn't an attack on Flare. This is more of me saying, well, it sucks because the IRS sits back and they don't give you any clear guidance on things. And it's like, then they can come after you. So what I'm worried is they can say, oh, nice memo. Screw that. That's not how we do this. We do this by on the second drop, and after that, there was a market, and you see that market over there. It says that Flare's worth $5, and so you received that $5, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried. I'm not saying that Flare's not trying to be as upfront as they can be. I think they are. It's just my concern is just that. I'm worried that the IRS is going to pull the old switcheroo on people on this thing, and that, and we all have to get with our own accountants and kind of decide that. And I asked for that memo, and maybe they'll be able to give it to us. They may not be able to give it to us. But anyway, enough on that. But again, I'll say it a third time. I'm not trying to attack Flare. I think it wouldn't matter if it was Flare or any other company. I would have these kind of concerns. This is from James Rule. Members of the Congressional Blockchain Caucus are working with the industry on new legislation to regulate cryptocurrency and clarify its tax status. Cryptocurrency industry lobbies Washington for regulatory clarity. They talk about Ripple. This is from the Hill, so this is right in front of all these politicians. Down here, it says, fast-growing cryptocurrency industry is now pushing the U.S. to provide what it calls regulatory clarity, particularly after last year's SEC lawsuit against Ripple Labs for selling its XRP token set off alarm bells. The regulator alleged the cryptocurrency was a security, not a commodity like some other tokens. Ripple Labs CEO Brad Garlinghouse bemoaned that the U.S. lacks a single national regulatory framework governing cryptocurrency. Ripple Labs responded by spending $260,000 on lobbying in the first quarter of 2021, up from 100,000 during the same period last year. In February, Ripple hired a lobbying firm run by Michael Conway, Republican Texas, who in 2020 introduced a bill to regulate digital commodity exchanges that was backed by cryptocurrency industry. Then they talk about how Coinbase is in the game, Goldman Sachs. They hired a guy from Goldman Sachs who, and then you got Jack Dorsey in the game. Anyway, so everybody's lobbying as they should be. Now I wanted to play you, I've got several clips from Jim Rickards. I may break some of them into the next video because I don't want to run the video too long. But if I don't play all of them, then I'll play them in the video for tomorrow morning, my first video. Here's the first clip from Jim Rickards.
If you need $12 trillion worth of gold and you have 35,000 metric tons, what's the price? Well, it comes out around $15,000 an ounce. So again, that's not some number I pulled out of the air just to attract attention. I mean, I don't need that. And I wouldn't work that way anyway. It's a very straightforward math problem, but that is the implied non-deflationary price of gold. That is the price that gold would have to be to avoid inflation or deflation on the gold standard. So that's
very interesting stuff. Crypto has everything to do with gold. I promise you that. And then Gold Telegraph had put this out. Central bank digital currencies, 86% of central banks around the world are researching digital currencies. 60% of them are developing their own digital currency. 14% have already begun deploying pilot projects. You wanted digital, you're about to get it. And he is right. James Phelan had put this out about the Ripple lawsuit. Ripple files its opposition to the SEC's request for a 60-day extension of the discovery deadline. And then Jeremy Hogan had weighed in. Best part of this opposition by Ripple is when it points out that many of the delays the SEC complains of were caused by the SEC itself, failing to turn over docs related to Bitcoin and Ethereum status as a security after being told twice by the judge. Legal judo. Anyway, so thought that was pretty interesting. And then we have this, okay, from Bank XRP. China's Qinghai province, I butchered that, is the latest to crack down on Bitcoin mining, a notice from the industry and information technology department said. Okay, now I wanted to go to, I think I'm going to skip this one and do this one. Let me make sure. I've got, you know what? I'm going to pull this and I'm going to pull this. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it today. I want to play this clip and I'll finish you with this clip. He says, actually it's not that one. I'm gonna pull the other one. 1 second, I'll get to it. The real danger of Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin will disappear. Sorry, I should have had this worked out. Okay, let's get back to this and I'll make all the points. Listen to what he says. Remember, Jim Rickards, he is connected all the way to the top, okay? This guy is connected even to the 3-letter agencies, okay? And I want you to listen to what he says.
So here's the question from Michael Burry, and here's the question from monetary economics. The money's there. It's like dry wood, but you need a match. The match is velocity, which is a change in psychology. What's going to cause that? Now here, just to tie it all up with a bow, going back to what I said about in the keynote about Bitcoin will not replace the dollar, but it may destroy the idea of money. And, in 1917, French artist Marcel Duchamp was invited to contribute to an art exhibit. And he went to a plumbing supply store and bought a men's urinal. And he signed it, Armat 1917, and he put it in a horizontal position in the gallery. And everyone was shocked. No, you can't do that. That's not a painting. It's not a sculpture. It's not art. And he was saying to the world, no, art is what the artist says it is. He was the most influential artist of the 20th century because he forever changed the definition of art by saying art is what I say it is. Well, maybe money is what I say it is, or money is what anybody says it is. And this is the real danger of Bitcoin. Not, I don't care if the price goes to 100,000 or 10,000. I don't own any. I'm not going to buy any. And as I say, if you want some, knock yourself out. That's irrelevant. That's content. It's like you're missing the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we are immersed in an electronic environment created by Bitcoin, which destroys the notion of money the same way a urinal destroyed the notion of art. And if you do that, you may lose confidence in all forms of money, and then you get the hyperinflation.
All right. So my question to you, the audience, is do you think these people that run this world, this financial world, it's not going to be down with the banks and all that business? That's Mickey Mouse thinking. Do you think that these people, the masters of the universe, for 1 second are going to do you think they're going to go with this, or do you think they're going to go with this, which was at the Bitcoin conference? Okay? And it wasn't just one, it was several of them. Do you think they're going to allow Bitcoin to take over the financial world? Do you think the Tim Geithners of the world and all of his buddies and all these people that Jim Rickards knows, do you think that that's what they allow to happen? And then hyperinflation, all those things. Do you think it's more likely that that happens, or do you think it's more likely they let us go down this road? And yes, that is blood all over his face, almost like someone has beat him up. It was gory. It was completely inappropriate. It's an understatement. It was just awful. And I could see the horror on Chris Giancarlo's face when I met him there at the idea of what they were doing, the defacing of the dollar and all this stuff. Use your brains, folks. That's the reason I went with Ripple and hence XRP many years ago, because I'm not 18 anymore. I'm in my 40s. And anybody who are the adults in the room, they know how this story ends. Let me finish this by letting you all know that iTrustCapital, who's one of my sponsors, all their links are in the description of my videos. They have integrated Coinbase custody for anybody any of you that have, whether you have or have not. If you open an iTrustCapital account where you can invest in digital assets in your IRA, the custody is now being done with Coinbase custody. They've got insurance, industry-leading annually renewed commercial crime insurance policy in the amount of $255 million. Robust cold storage to help ensure assets protected from all types of attacks. Undergoes financial and security audits. You get the picture. So these guys have been moving and shaking. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that iTrustCapital is just hooked up with Coinbase custody. These guys are